The day you truly detach is the day their mask cracks. Not when you threaten to leave. Not when you cry. Not when you block them in a wave of emotion and then secretly hope they notice. None of that ever shook them. What shakes them is certainty. What unsettles them is silence that feels final. The moment your energy shifts from reactive to resolved, from hoping to done, something changes. You stop arguing, you stop explaining, you stop trying to be understood. And that's when they feel it. You think they collapse in heartbreak when they realize you are not coming back. You think they suddenly see your value and drown in regret. No. That fantasy comforts you, but it isn't reality. When a narcissist knows you will never return, they break down. They tighten up. They go quiet, strategic, observant. Because what they've lost isn't love. It is access. It is control. It is the ability to pull your emotional strings whenever they feel insecure or bored. Here's the truth you may not want to face. They never feared losing you. They feared losing influence over you. As long as you were still emotionally hooked, angry, hurt, waiting, explaining, they still had a door open. Even your pain was proof of connection. Even your tears were evidence they still mattered. But indifference, that is different. Indifference tells them the door is sealed. And that's the moment their ego takes the hit. Understand this clearly. Your detachment does wound their heart. It wounds their identity. They built part of their self-image around having you within reach, around knowing they could leave and return, disrespect and still be forgiven, disappear and still be welcome back. When you remove that pattern, you disrupt their sense of power. You may be tempted to look for visible reactions, dramatic texts, emotional confessions, some grand acknowledgement of what they lost. Stop looking. Real shifts in a narcissist look like vulnerability. They look like calculation. Because once they realize you are truly done, they don't focus on winning you back out of love. They focus on restoring their ego, on regaining balance, on proving to themselves more than anyone that they are still desirable, still powerful, still in control. Your silence becomes their mirror. And what they see in that mirror is not flattering. That is why your absence feels louder than any argument ever did. That, why certainty unsettles them more than chaos. You walking away emotionally is not weakness. It is the one move they never prepared for. When you are no longer an option, they sit in reflection. They reconstruct reality. The moment they understand you return, the narrative begins to shift, quietly at first, subtly, then confidently. Suddenly, you were the unstable one, the overly emotional one, the difficult one, the reason things fell apart. The story gets polished, edited, rearranged. Not because they discovered new truth, but because they need protection. You have to understand something harsh. Accountability feels like annihilation to someone who survives on image. If they admit you walked away because of their behavior, then they must confront their flaws. And that is a level of self-exposure they cannot tolerate. So instead of looking inward, they look outward. They rewrite the script where they are misunderstood, mistreated, even victimized. And here's the part that stings. They may sound convincing. They speak with confidence because they've rehearsed it in their own mind. They repeat the version of events that keeps their ego intact. Over time, repetition becomes belief. Not truth, belief. And once they believe it, they can sell it. This isn't the emotional chaos. It is reputation management. When you leave permanently, you become a threat. Not because you were allowed, but because you know. You saw behind the mask. You experienced the manipulation. You stepped away instead of staying confused. That kind of awareness makes them uncomfortable. So they attempt to discredit you before you ever speak. Here, as a shocking truth you need to accept. They don't need you to buy the lie anymore. They just need others to. If they can control the external narrative, they feel safe. If friends, family, or new partners see you as the problem, then their image remains clean. An image is everything. You might feel the urge to defend yourself, to correct the record, to expose what really happened. Be careful. The more you argue with someone committed to distortion, the more you get pulled back into their game. And the game was never about truth. It was about dominance. Understand this shift clearly. When someone rushes to paint you as unstable after you walk away, it's not random. It is reactive. Your strength destabilized them. Your final decision forced them to confront loss of control. And instead of owning that loss, they create a version of events where they were justified. You did just leave a person. You disrupted a power dynamic. And for someone addicted to control, that disruption must be explained away, even if it requires rewriting the entire past to do it. The moment they realize you are not coming back, they move fast, not inward, not toward growth, outward, toward replacement. Before the silence even settles, there is someone new, a new name, a new face, a new story being displayed as if it's proof of something, proof they were desired, proof they've moved on, proof they were never affected. And if you are not careful, you will misread it. You will think they found something better, healthier, happier. You will wonder if you were the problem after all. That is exactly the psychological trap. Here is the truth that cuts deep. The speed of their replacement has nothing to do with love. It has everything to do with supply. They cannot sit alone with the void your absence created. Your silence forces them to face insecurity. It forces them to confront the emptiness they kept you around to soothe. And that kind of self-exposure feels unbearable. So instead of processing loss, they numb it with attention, new admiration, new validation, new energy. But understand this clearly. They are not choosing someone because they are healed. They are choosing someone because they are available. When a narcissist replaces you quickly, it is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of their dependency on external affirmation. They need someone to mirror back importance, to restore the ego hit your departure caused. And here's another harsh realization. The new person is not special in the way you think. They are simply unaware. They are at the beginning of a cycle you already survived. If you are still watching from a distance, analyzing their posts, measuring their smiles, comparing yourself, stop. You are not witnessing transformation. You are witnessing repetition. The charm looks the same. The intensity looks the same. The promises look the same. Because the pattern is the same. You have to detach from the illusion that their new relationship is proof of your inadequacy. It is proof of their inability to be alone. There is a difference. Real growth requires discomfort, reflection, ownership, silence. And none of that happens when someone jumps immediately into the arms of another distraction. You walked away and faced the pain. They ran from it. That is the difference. And if you ever feel tempted to go back, because you think they've changed, remember this. Someone who replaces you instantly did, to lose you emotionally. They lost access and rushed to refill the vacancy. That even when they know you will never return, they can fully let go. Something compels them to test the boundaries one last time. A text that seems casual, a sudden coincidence, a fabricated crisis, a vague apology, a question meant to provoke. Each move carefully calculated, each action designed to gauge whether the door is still open, even slightly. It isn't about wanting you back, not truly. It about reassurance. Reassurance that they still have the power to make you react, that their presence, even from a distance, can still tug at your mind. It's the final ego check, a last attempt to assert dominance over what is no longer theirs to control. And here is the hard truth. Responding is exactly what they want. Arguing, explaining, justifying, or showing emotion feeds the pattern they thrived on. Every word, every gesture becomes evidence that they still matter, that they still command attention, that they still have influence. Silence, absolute and unwavering, is the only response that unsettles them. When you stop participating, they are forced to confront what they can never manipulate, your absence. That emptiness reflects their loss of control. That quiet is louder than any confrontation. You might feel a pull to give closure, to clarify, to explain why you left or why you no longer care. That pull is a trap. Someone who has weaponized confusion does deserve answers. They don't seek truth. They seek reaction. Your clarity and calm are more powerful than any words you could offer. And here is the uncomfortable realization: the more you stay removed, the more powerless they become. Not powerless in life, but powerless over you. And that is the victory they fear the most. You don't need them to acknowledge your strength. You don't need them to apologize or recognize their wrongdoing. You just need to remain unwavering. Because when they realize the game is over, when they see that their attempts to provoke or lure you back fail, their panic is internal, silent, and inescapable. Your absence, unshakable and absolute, becomes a mirror they cannot manipulate, gaslight, or rewrite. The final test is not about love. It is not about regret, it is about control. And when you refuse to give it back, you win in the only way that truly matters, by becoming untouchable in your mind, in your energy, in your life. Listen closely, because this is where the truth hits hardest. When the narcissist knows you will never come back, they do not transform, they do not reflect. They do not suddenly see the error of their ways. What they do is reposition. They protect their image. They secure new sources of supply. They test boundaries. They rewrite the story. And none of it has anything to do with love, not even a little. You must accept this. Their actions are about control, not connection. Every move is designed to reassure themselves, not to reconnect with you. Every narrative they spin, every replacement they parade, every subtle test is aimed at maintaining dominance over what they once had. Your absence exposes their vulnerability, and vulnerability terrifies them more than anything. Here is the shift that changes everything. Your power never came from convincing them to see your worth. Your power is in walking away and meaning it. Your power is in refusing to give them the reactions they crave, in refusing to make your presence negotiable. That is the strongest move you can make, not revenge, not confrontation, not proof. Just absence. Absolute, unwavering, untouchable absence. Stop romanticizing their silence. Stop replaying every action and wondering if it means something. Stop hoping they finally get it. They already understand. What they lack is the willingness to change. And even if they did change, it would to be for you. It would be for themselves. And that is not your responsibility. Now the question is not what they are doing secretly. The question is whether you will stay gone. Because the moment you return, you teach them that your boundaries are negotiable. You teach them that your absence can be erased, that your detachment is temporary. If you are serious about reclaiming your life, your energy, and your self-respect, let this be the final truth. The strongest revenge is not making them regret losing you. The strongest revenge is becoming unreachable, unshakable, untouchable. The moment you truly embody that, nothing they do can ever pull you back. Your life, your mind, and your peace belong only to you. And that is the final, undeniable power.